Sisters, brothers. Okay. So if we're all ready. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. We did not start yet. Okay.
Series of shots. I think he wants you closer to the podium. Come this way. Yeah.
Okay, good morning. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful. My name is Nihad Awad. I'm the National Executive Director of CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations. We're here today to announce some initiatives and campaigns on behalf of the American Muslim community, and I will introduce the speakers. This press conference is taking place after a summit that was held yesterday here in Virginia under the auspices of the USCMO, the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, a large coalition of mainstream national Muslim organizations. About 100 Muslim leaders, national, regional, and local leaders, have met yesterday in Virginia to discuss the rising issues of Islamophobia, the hate crimes against the American Muslim community, and also we discussed countering violent extremism in the context of national security. And based on that, we came with quite few resolutions, campaigns, and initiatives. So I would like to introduce the main speaker who will read the statement on behalf of the coalition, Mr. Osama Jamal, the Secretary General of the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations. He will read the statement, and I will ask every speaker who will come to the podium to pronounce their name and spell it for you. So without any further ado, Osama Jamal.
Good morning. Again, my name is Osama Jamal, spells O-U-S-S-A-M-A. Last name is J-A-M-M-A-L. The U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations, a coalition of leading national and local Muslim organizations, is today announcing major educational outreach and civic empowerment initiatives to address the growing Islamophobia in America and to enhance national security through the promotion of freedom and justice. Proposed USCMO initiatives include a drive to register 1 million voters prior to the 2016 elections, a One American campaign to enhance understanding of American Muslims and Islam, and a national Open Mosque Day designed to help increase interaction between American Muslims and citizens of other faiths and backgrounds. Another initiative planned by our National Muslim Coalition includes the formation of a new and strengthened alliances with interfaith partners, social justice groups, and other minority communities that have faced or continue to face similar challenges. The USCMO will seek to increase emergency preparedness for Islamic institutions and individuals to address the rising number of incidents of hate crime that are unfortunately happening nationwide. At our summit yesterday in Virginia, USCMO member organizations have discussed the real and present threat of violent extremist groups that are preying on young people via the internet and who twist the meaning of the Quran to justify their atrocities. It was noted that groups such as ISIS kill more Muslims than they do other people. According to law enforcement experts, American Muslims have been on the front line of identifying and reporting suspected violent extremist activities. USCMO groups also shared their experience and information regarding effective community-driven solutions to the problem of violent extremism and recruitment with the aim of providing recommended strategies that expand on and improve their current efforts. The coalition committed itself to combat all forms of violent extremism in the homeland. Experts in the field shared some factors related to radicalization that include isolation, the presentation of twisted religious ideology, and toxic anti-Muslim political rhetoric, and negative perception of American policy, particularly in the Middle East. These strategies will seek to prevent the targeting of members of the American Muslim community by those espousing extremist ideologies and will help young people to rejoin the mainstream community. In each of the initiatives, coalition members will seek to protect the civil liberties of all Americans. USCMO leaders and members understand the magnitude of the challenge facing our community and our nation. And we will not allow either ISIS or Islamophobia to define who we are or to determine our destiny. We will define ourselves and we will chart our own destiny. The initiatives announced today were discussed Sunday at a long day of national summit of more than 100 national and regional American Muslim leaders in Virginia and representing all areas of the country and all segments of the faith community. Sunday's summit was convened in response to the unprecedented rise in bias incidents targeting American Muslims in the wake of the Paris terror attacks and the San Bernardino killings, and recent inflammatory anti-Muslim rhetoric and political incitements. However, we would like to take this opportunity as well to thank the overwhelming support that we have received by our fellow citizens, from the interfaith groups, even from political candidates, and from our neighbors, and from our supporters. This is America, and this is how we see America, and this is how America will continue to be the loving and the one nation for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Osama. Now I would like to introduce Rula Alouche, CARE National Board Chair, the Council on American Islamic Relations. Rula?
Good morning. Rula Alouche, R-O-U-L-A, last name's A-L-L-O-U-C-H. The Council on American Islamic Relations, a founding member organization of the USCMO, joins in today's statement following yesterday's summit. The summit brought together a diverse group of American Muslim leaders to address the serious concerns of security facing our community and our nation. In the past year, and particularly in recent weeks, the American Muslim community has found itself to be subject to increasing Islamophobia and violence against our community. Last week, CARE issued a report outlining the increase in threats against Muslims and particularly mosques. We are particularly proud to join in the One America campaign to encourage our community's further political engagement and building bridges between all Americans. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rola. Now I would like to call on Imam Johari Abdul Malik, representing the Muslim Alliance of North America.
Imam Johari Abdul Malik, I-M-A-M-J-O-H-A-R-I, last name A-B-D-U-L-M-A-L-I-K. I come this morning representing the Muslim Alliance in North America, standing in full support of the work that was done by this tremendous summit. And we would like to be very clear, most of the members of the Muslim Alliance our imams in mosques around America. We are very clear from this effort that we have to do a better job of reaching out to our young people from the pulpits of the mosques in America and teaching them how they can avoid the seductive approaches that are found on the internet from groups like ISIS and others. We believe that the issue is bigger than ISIS. It is a conspiracy to take advantage of our young people, and we are redoubling our efforts as a community, opening our mosques to our neighbors and friends, building closer relationships with civil rights organizations, African Americans, Hispanics, and others who have walked this path before, along with our Jewish brothers and sisters who have experienced the kind of racist rhetoric that we see coming out of the political environment today. I just want to close by saying again, I think that the presence of the USCMO and all of the member organizations that joined us this weekend sends a message to ISIS that we are in fact part of the solution of ridding them and their toxic message, not only from America, but from around the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Imam Johari. Now I'd like to call on Zahid Bukhari, representing ICNA, the Islamic Circle of North America.
Hello, my name is Zahid Bukhari, Z-A-H-I-D, and Bukhari, B-U-K-H-A-R-I. Islamic Circle of North America is one of the largest grassroots organization. We have been supporting and founding member of U.S. Council of Muslim Organization. And the majority of the leaders, we thought of what is happening in America, the anti-Muslims, this bigotry and Islamophobia is giving us a wonderful opportunity to present Islam and Muslim in their true face. So for that reason, these initiatives have been discussed, approved by the largest, I think, body of Muslim leaders, and we would like to do all these campaigns, One America, million voter registration drive, and National Open Mosque Day. So that will be, inshallah, doing, and we'll be doing together, all Muslim communities and organizations, they are doing together, and Islamic Circle of North America is definitely part of all these campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you, Zahid. I'll call on Kristen Sherminsky, correct my spelling, representing American Muslims for Palestine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kristen Shremski. Your first Polish lesson.
I'll take it.
My name is spelled Kristin. My last name is S like Sam, Z like zebra, Remski. So, I'm sorry I have to put on my reading glasses. But I'm with the American Muslims for Palestine, a national education and advocacy organization. I'm the Director of Media and Communications. AMP, as a founding member of USCMO, we fully endorses and supports this statement and major undertaking by the Muslim community led by the USCMO, the America First project. It's imperative. It is imperative that we as Muslims do a better job of outreach so our neighbors can get a true sense of who we are. Now, mind you, we have been doing this. We have been doing outreach, and we have been condemning terrorism for years and years, but the problem is people really haven't been listening. Now, with this national effort from representing the Muslim community from coast to coast, our voices will be united and we will be heard. We especially support, AMP especially supports teaching our youth how to become involved in the civic engagement process as a path towards fully realizing their rights and responsibilities as American citizens. That's why we participated in Muslim Advocacy Day on the Hill last year, which was a USCMO project organized by CARE. and why AMP also held the first ever Palestine Advocacy Day, where we brought youth in and taught them how to be delegates and taught them how to engage with their congressional representatives. We want our youth to be safe, and exposing them to this type of activity, it's a path towards empowerment and a sense of belonging to the diverse family known as American society. I really want to thank all of the media who came out today. We really do need your help in overcoming the rampant state of Islamophobia in this country. We appreciate so far the stories and coverage that have occurred to try to contextualize and bring our stories to light and contextualize the Islamophobia that's out there. Mind you, I'm a journalist by trade. We all are free speech advocates, but we need to contextualize what we're hearing. Yesterday on the Sunday programs, one of the announcers, one of the hosts, I won't name the program, asked about a certain political candidate's stance on Muslims, as if we are not sentient human beings, individuals with our own agency. Imagine replacing that with some other ethnic or minority group in this country. It wouldn't be accepted. And so we appreciate you taking the time to come out and hear about this initiative. AMP fully supports it. I'm really, really personally very excited about this. And thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. I'll call on Altaf Hussein, representing the Islamic Society of North America, ISNA.
Good morning. I'm Altaf Hussein, spelled ALTAF-HUSAIN, and I serve as the Vice President of the Islamic Society of North America. ISNA is grateful to join national, regional, and local organizations to launch these initiatives. These are difficult times for our nation, but we Americans are tough. We have been through difficulties before, and we have emerged stronger. This One America initiative is not a Muslim-only effort. We benefit from the collaboration and the love of our interfaith partners, our neighbors, and our co-workers. This is also not an abstract exercise for us, as husbands and wives and parents of children who are born in Brooklyn and Boise, in Syracuse and in San Francisco. This is a real exercise for us, to make sure our children know that they will make great contributions to the resolution of complex social problems addressing American society, indeed ranging from injustice, poverty, inequality, and oppression. Our children already stand side by side with the Black Lives Matter movement, with covering the uninsured, with protecting the sanctity of life, and indeed, we want to make it clear that anti-Muslim bigotry, anti-Muslim hostility are un-American. And yes, Muslim Americans are very concerned with the recent rise in violence and hatred directed at our community members. However, to be perfectly clear, this concern does not negate nor underappreciate the fact that for the most part, Muslim Americans are thriving as contributing members of their neighborhoods, their communities, their schools, their colleges, their universities, and their workplaces. The bigots will never change this reality. Lastly, to local, statewide, and federal political candidates, we want to be clear. Take time to meet with and share your visions for better cities, for better counties, for better states, and our nation as a whole. Talk to Muslim American constituents, engage us as potential voters, and by doing so, aspire to political victory. If you as a political candidate choose to spew hatred, bigotry, and to vilify Muslim Americans, you do so at your own political risk. We will use every democratic, small d, democratic means and political strategies to ensure that your candidacy never succeeds. Thank you.
Thank you, Altaf. Let me call on Imam Mehdi Bray, representing American Muslim Alliance.
Thank you and good morning. My name is Mehdi, M-A-H-D-I, Bray, B-R-A-Y. I'm here to associate myself with the statement and with the initiative of the U.S. CMO. I think that as a longtime civil rights and human rights activists here in America, we've seen dark days before. And we've seen demagoguery in the political arena, you know, going back to as far as George Wallace, etc. And so this is nothing new, yet we want to make sure we step up to the plate, because when we had these types of cases, the civil rights community has always taken the position that it's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. So let me just say that also as a Muslim parent, I'm very proud of this initiative of the U.S. CMO to make sure that our young Muslims are safe from the predation of such vicious organizations as ISIS, or sometimes referred to as Daesh. We stand full shoulder to shoulder with them. And as a parent, I am particularly proud of the political initiative that's channeling our young people into constructive, proactive engagement and pushing back against bigotry and Islamophobia, and moving forward to predicting as well as letting America know what we always know, that our Muslim youth are not terrorist suspects, but rather they are America's brightest prospects.
Let me call on Rabia Ahmed, representing Muslim Public Affairs Council.
Thank you. My name is Rabia Ahmed. I'm the Media and Communication Director for the Muslim Public Affairs Council. That's spelled RABIAHAHMED. First of all, I'd like to thank USCMO for convening this very important and timely conversation around this issue. I think it's important to note, however, that each of our respective organizations have been working on these types of efforts, building interfaith relations, working on advocacy work, building programming within our communities to have sound families. But what makes this effort unique is that we are all coming together to rely on each other's strengths to amplify our voices and our efforts. Oftentimes you hear people talk about how the American Muslim community is silent and where are they. And part of that has to do with the fact that we make up a very small minority of the larger population. Coming together like this will only amplify the efforts that we have all been collectively working on for decades now. But the building of partnerships does not end with the American Muslim community. In fact, we can only overcome the challenges that we face if we extend and build those partnerships with people outside of our community. The challenge of Islamophobia, anti-Muslim bigotry, extremism, any of these issues that we are facing today can only be dealt with if we come together. So I would like to use this as an opportunity for any organization, any group, any individual who is concerned about the direction that our country is facing to reach out to us so that we can work together for a better America. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabia. Last but not least, I'll call on Sheikh Ahmed Mbarak. I hope I did not mispronounce your name. Representing the Islamic Leadership Council of New York, who joined us yesterday.
Good morning, everybody. I am here from Sheikh Ahmed, CHEIKH, space AHMED, space MBARECK, Mbarak. And I'm here from New York. And as you all know, New York is the big brother in the United States. When New York is on board, everybody else is on board. So we're here to support and endorse the USCMO and to first thank all of those organizations and specifically public officials who came out in support of American values and protected and defended the Muslim community. In New York, the reason why we have a very good relationship with our government and with even our own selves is the fact that we have a very good relationship with our public representatives. And for that, I thank the local government in New York for all of what they said and for all of the policies that they putting in place, and that somehow made up with the previous Muslim surveillance intention around it with NYPD. The other thing that I want to say, and I want you all to know, is that as the whole United States asked the Muslim community to say, hey, extremists hijacked our religion, I just want you to know that there are people out there who hijacked American values. And we expect all the Americans to come out to defend their own American values based on which we have this great country and everybody dies crossing seas to get here. Thank you.
Thank you all. Now we just open it for questions and answers. Please identify yourself, and if you have a question to a specific speaker, otherwise I will pass it.
Anyone can take this. Derek Ward with WRC. Compare this to the days immediately following 9/11. Had things died down and ramped up? Has it been constant? How would you compare and contrast?
So I can handle this question. Right after the 9/11 attacks, we believe we had a more coherent and more united front against violence. Despite our disagreement with the policies that President Bush enacted after 9/11, he stood firm. He defended American values. He stood by the American Muslim community, and he cautioned against rush to judgment. He defended the American Muslim community, and he called on the public and public officials not to target or scapegoat the American Muslim community just for political reasons, because this will divide America and this will enable the terrorists in their goals. Today, unfortunately, we feel that there is a division in the nation. We feel that, yes, we live a political season, election season. We usually anticipate anti-Muslim hate speech usually like 2-3 months before the elections. But to start like more than 1 year before the elections is really harmful. And we feel the heat. We feel it in the unprecedented number of hate crimes against individual Muslims, against mosques, fire bombings. And that has been caused mainly by irresponsible political rhetoric, scaring the public, misusing facts. And let me just share with you what the New York Times just released. And President Obama quoted this fact on his interview, I believe, with NPR, according to CNN this morning. The New York Times said that from the year 2014 to 2015, there have been 3 ISIS-inspired attacks. 3 ISIS-inspired attacks. However, in 2015 alone, there have been 50,740 gun violence incidents, causing the death of almost 13,000 people. We have to put things in perspective. We believe that the ISIS attacks are getting disproportionate media and political attention. And the Muslim community has been unequivocal, swift and strong against ISIS and their attacks against America.
If I can?
Sure.
Yeah. I just would like to contextualize what's going on in our community as a backlash. Immediately after 9/11, the neighbors around my mosque in Northern Virginia came with candles. They put a perimeter and said, we want to make it clear that these people who pray here are our neighbors and our friends. With the heated rhetoric that is going on now in the political sphere, our mosque there was an attempted firebombing of my mosque by a young man that went to high school with other children who pray at that mosque. They caught him in the middle of the night, let him go. But then later on, they went on Facebook, they found his address and his name, and we turned it into law enforcement. We found out, and that boy's mother called me and said, I want to apologize because my son is suffering with mental illness. And that probably in the climate of fear and hostility, he acted out. We had another event of a man who came into the mosque shouting, "You're all going to die, you need to accept Jesus." We called the law enforcement. They did an excellent job. But again, this is another person that is just caught up, they're psychologically unstable. And this climate of hostility gives people the feeling that they have the license to go out and attack Muslims or to shout negative statements to them in a way that we did not see after 9/11.
Okay. If you identify yourself.
Khalid Khairi from Al Ghad Al Arabi TV. Dr. Nat, since you mentioned New York Times, how you evaluate the U.S. media coverage for Muslim topics here in America?
I'll do something I did not do before. I'm not a doctor. Many people, especially in the Arab world, consider me a doctor. But this is away from the subject. I think
Hakeem, with a lot of
Thank you. Thank you. I think, unfortunately, and allow me to be critical of this, and I usually don't criticize the media, because the media is our gateway to express our opinions and share what we think and what we do with the world, not only with the American public. But I believe the media has been caught into this rating competition, and I believe that unfortunately, if it bleeds, it leads. The Muslim community has been scapegoated. The Muslim community has been unfairly portrayed in the media, and I believe the media should not help politicians who are trying to scapegoat the American Muslim community to give them the attention they don't deserve. I think they should criticize them, and in a way the media did. They did criticize and challenge Donald Trump on his false accusation of the American Muslim community cheering 9/11, when in fact we were mourning, like every American, the 9/11 attacks. He just did it, just to, unfortunately, to divide the public, to scare the public, and he knows better. So despite being corrected several times, he was given a lot of platforms to attack the Muslim community. So in a way, I believe the media contributed to this overwhelming portrayal of the American Muslim community as being silent, as not doing anything, or just focus as the problem lies within the Muslim community, when in fact we have gun violence that's all over the place. In 2015, we have more than 355 mass shootings. Again, 355 mass shootings. That means more than one mass shooting per day in the United States. More than 3 to 5 people have been killed by mass shootings in the United States, mainly at the hands of non-Muslims. We did not see back-to-back coverage. We did not see 24/7 coverage of the victims and the perpetrators, or the religious or political identity of the perpetrators. Those are innocent people who have been killed mercilessly by their perpetrators. But unfortunately, the focus has been mainly on few acts within the Muslim community that had been condemned roundedly by American Muslims. So we all have to work together to put things in perspective. No one will deny the existence of violent extremism, but also the exaggeration gives an oversized portrayal of reality, and that hurts us. And I think the media plays a role into that. We'll take maybe one more question or two.
What might be your comments on Hillary Clinton's statements on Saturday's debate when she mentioned that Donald Trump is the best recruiting tool for Daesh?
I happen to agree with her, and because I said similar stuff, that Donald Trump's statements are helping ISIS, because he's playing into their hands. He's not fighting ISIS, he's helping ISIS. ISIS could not get better help than elite political leaders to scare the public and help the public be scared, like ISIS has been trying to do. And just let me say this, ISIS leaders know that they cannot destroy the United States. They cannot defeat the United States. But what they hope to do is to divide Americans and to scare us. So my message to all candidates, not only Donald Trump and his likes, but all candidates, stop being afraid. America is strong.
Can I add one quick thing?
Sure. You had a question or you're done?
I did.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. And sure, come. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I did want to bring this home. This is what it means for American families here. A young woman whom I know posted on Facebook that she went into her 6-year-old daughter's bedroom the other day, and the child had packed up her belongings and said, "I heard that Donald Trump wants to get Muslims out of this country. Mommy, will the army come in the middle of the night and make us leave?" This is the impact of this unbridled Islamophobia, and it's filtering through the TV to our children. So I just wanted to contextualize that for our families.
Okay. So final question, if you don't mind, and we'll leave it to you to make one-on-one interviews. Go ahead.
Oh, sure. My name is Marissa Schultz from the New York Post. Thanks for doing this. My question is just if you could explain a little bit more about the voter registration, like where you're going to be doing this, how it will go, and are you supporting a particular candidate, or will you be not, making it clear you don't want a particular candidate?
Okay. What's that?
I will do that. This initiative, Muslim Americans been involved in political process, and they have been for quite some time. This one becomes particularly important because, first of all, this is our country, and we have the right to voice and make the choices in these elections. How we're going to be doing this, obviously, this is going to be a massive grassroots effort by all the member organizations and the Muslim community that is throughout the country. We do recognize that the Muslim community alone cannot do a change or cannot do to make the difference in one election or the other. And we understand that also applies to other minorities. So we are going to be doing alliances, we're going to be doing coalitions, we're going to be reaching out. All politics are local. We understand how the political system works. We are going to mobilize our community. We're going to do the early voting. We're going to be having bus loads on shuttles to the polling stations. We will be doing everything possible to make our community vibrant, active, energetic, understanding that this is their country and they have to make the choices and they have to be part of it. And instead of being witness, instead of being taken the blames, instead of being taken the attacks, I think an involved citizenry is the way to explain yourself and to define yourself. And as we said, we are not going to let anybody define who we are or chart our destiny. We will do that ourselves.
Okay.
Just very quickly, I would like to add that the political engagement is an important factor. As a past civil rights activist who marched with King in Washington, D.C., and in Selma, and worked with John Lewis and others at the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, we've learned one thing, is that if you are demonized as a community, if you're denied your rights, if you are become a victim of political bigotry, the best answer, the best response is to take your soul to the polls. And so therefore, we're going to use the ballot. We're going to use the ballot to say, we'll use the ballots to fight bigotry. And that's what we're going to do. And so let it be heard and clear to all political candidates, be it Donald Trump or whoever else, that indeed, if you engage in Islamophobia, if you engage in demagoguery and bigotry, you will pay a political price, because we're going to register our people and we're going to use our ballot and we're going to take our souls to the polls and make sure you're out of there.
And just to clarify, none of our organizations, including the USCMO, is endorsing any candidate. So There will be another organization that might be formed from the community that will make that decision. But we are most of us are 501c3 organizations. So, but yes, we're going to be engaged, and as we say, in November we remember. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're non-profit, the net noun principle.
And former Senator and 2016 Republican presidential candidate Rick Santorum argues in The Hill that the majority of Muslims in the U.S. and around the world are not trying to confront Islamic extremism. He was speaking on MSNBC and said there are a lot